In exactly 1 week from now, United Kingdom will have its new Prime Minister. The two top contenders, UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss and former UK Chancellor Rishi Sunak, have clashed over a slew of topics on various occasions. But one issue on which both Sunak and Truss agree is China. After former UK Chancellor Rishi Sunak pledged to get tough on China, UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has announced that if she is elected as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, then she will classify China as a threat to Britain's national security, further elevating China to a similar status as Russia, which is defined as an acute threat. The Foreign Secretary has promised to reshape the UK's foreign policy if she becomes the Prime Minister, and has further pledged to reopen the Integrated Review, which will set out British priorities in diplomacy and defence for the coming few years. The review already describes China as a systematic competitor and further argues that the UK should deepen its trading relations with Beijing, while also being wary of the risks to its national security. Now, the latest approach taken by Truss against China is a major U-turn from previous pro-China policies of the Tories. During former United Kingdom Prime Minister David Cameron's tenure, the United Kingdom and China had a steady relationship. Apart from having diplomatic relations with Beijing, the UK, under Cameron's leadership, also considered China as a strong trade partner. In the year 2017, Cameron, who played a key role in efforts to boost trade links with Beijing while he was in 10 Downing Street, took charge of the €750 million fund to improve roads, ports and rail networks between China and the countries it traded with. However, it has been 5 years to Cameron's tenure, and Britain's policy towards China is about to take a 180-degree switch if the UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss is elected as the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Now, for more on this, we are being joined by Mark Brolin from London, who is a geopolitical strategist, a current affairs commentator and an author. Hello to you, Mark, and thank you for being with us. Now, UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has said that if she becomes the next Prime Minister of Britain, then she will classify China as a threat, elevating China to a similar status as that of Russia. How do you assess these statements made by Truss?
Well, this is directly linked to the Ukraine situation, of course, and we now know that dependence on power like Russia is the energy dependence has made Europe quite vulnerable, and to be able to reduce that vulnerability against not only Russia but also China, this is how she reacts. And I think the thing is that Beijing might be arguing that Europe is in a weak position at the same time as US is in a weak position, which sort of increases the risk of doing something. So to be able to wean off the dependence on China, this is why she plays it. And we have ties. There is Chinese ties in the UK which are actually growing. They're quite strong. And China is, for example, partly financing the Hinkley Point C nuclear power plant, and that has been quite controversial. China also has quite strong ties to the university sector in the UK, and that's also increasingly controversial. So that's sort of the direct reason for all this. And then there is a second reason, which is about the optics in the leadership race. Going tough now on China is I mean, that makes you score points domestically.
Mm-hmm. Right, and Mark, these statements by Liz Truss mark a major U-turn in Britain's policy towards China, compared to that under former UK Prime Minister David Cameron, who considered China as a strong trading partner. What can you tell us on this?
I think this can be seen as a pushback against globalism. We had the German expression Handel durch Wandel, which was used for a long time against Russia. And that means that if you strengthen the economic ties, automatically you will have a more peaceful situation going forward. And now we know that really didn't happen. Instead, it made us more vulnerable because Putin was arguing because of the energy dependence of Europe, the rest of Europe. the rest of Europe wouldn't react if he invaded Ukraine. Of course, that didn't happen, but it has weakened not only Russia and Ukraine, but also the rest of Europe. So now this Handel durch Wandel argument has that's sort of dead. And now we know that that was short-term economic what would you call it, rationale behind it. That's totally wrong. So now we are saying that there is a much bigger trade-off between strategic interest and economic interest. And the short-term economic interests are we need to be less dependent on. And that's the rationale within the foreign ministry right now.
Absolutely. Mark, thank you very much for your input and joining us on this broadcast.
Thank you.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.